Now we're going to talk about depressions. Depressions are holes that allow passages for blood vessels or nerves and they could make joints with other bones. A foramen is one type of depression. It is a hole that allows vessels or nerves to pass through the bone. An example is the foramen magnum, which you can find at the bottom of the cranium, and there's a large hole, and that is where the spinal cord goes through. So many nerves. Another type of depression is a sinus. It is a cavity or a hollow space. And there are many different sinuses. Some of the more famous ones are what we actually call the sinuses in the facial bones. So this is your maxilla bone, and so there are sinuses behind the bone, behind that front part of the bone, and that is what gets inflamed or hurt when you have a sinus infection. A third type of depression is a fossa. It is a depression on the surface of a bone. And one example is the mandibular fossa. So if we were to look at the skeleton, we talked about the mandibular condyle, which was a, get in the right spot there, which was a bump, and that articulates or forms a joint with the mandibular fossa, which is this hole right here. There's a little indentation, and you'll be able to see that better when I pass it around in class, which articulates with the mandibular condyle. So the mandibular fossa is the depression that articulates with the mandibular condyle, which is the bump. A fourth type of depression is a meatus. And a meatus is a short channel or passageway. And the most common one to talk about is the external auditory meatus, which is where your ear, that's where your ear canal is. So there is a panel, a channel, there's a passageway into where all the ear bones and the eardrum and all that stuff is. So those are the projections and the depressions on bones. So now we're going to talk about the bones themselves. So let's talk about how the skeleton is organized. It is organized into two main groups. The axial skeleton, which consists of about 80 bones, and it is the head, trunk, and spine. And we could call that the body's axis. And the second group is the appendicular skeleton, which has 126 bones, and that's the limbs, shoulders, and hips, and that includes the body's appendages. In the next video, we're going to talk about the axial skeleton. Okay, see you then. Bye.